Bonjour les Français-toi, ici c'est Madame Dire. Aujourd'hui, on va étudier le vocabulaire pour les voyages. Ça, c'est partie 1 sur l'avion et à l'aéroport. Pour partie numéro 1, nous allons utiliser les mots qui sont similaires en français et en anglais. So the first part of your list, if you look at your vocab sheet that you have in front of you while you watch, is broken down into sur l'avion and l'aéroport. What I'd like you to do before you go further in the video is to look at the first 11 that are on the airplane words, check them out, and determine if there are any that you could be pretty certain of their meaning just based on how the French word is. It's called a cognate, so a word that's similar in French and in English. You've seen loads of them before. So pause your video maintenant. Stop and fill in the ones that you think you already know. All right, one of the first ones we thought you might know was la cabine, cabine, the airplane cabin, very similar to en anglais. Next one I thought you'd know was le cockpit, C-O-C-K-P-I-T, cockpit. Next up, exactly the same on français and anglais. Le cockpit. 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 Kind of like Coke like a soda. I thought you'd know le copilote. C-O-P-I-L-O-T-E. The co-pilot of a plane. Copilote. Next up, le copilote. Copilote. The co-pilot. Un passager, une passagère, one for masculine, passager, one for féminin, passagère. Watch out for the different spellings at the end. Okay. And they are male or female passengers. Passager, passagère. Pretty close to anglais. Un passager, une passagère. Passager, passagère, masculin, féminin. Passager, passagère. You might have figured out le commandant, commandant, the pilot from the word command, which is snuck in there, so a person who commands the airplane. L'avion, la, vie, on, avion. And you might have picked up that that was airplane from the ave of aviation, which has to do with things that fly. Le steward, don't get to pronounce the D, so steward, le steward, is a male flight attendant. Voici le steward. Because les Français have a masculin and féminin for almost everything, the job of airline attendant is the same. Masculin steward, féminin l'hôtesse. L'hôtesse, a female flight attendant. Une place, un siège. Une place is kind of like your spot on an airplane. Okay. Un siège is the actual thing, a seat. So most of the time, if you were to say, for example, someone's in my seat, it would be dans ma place. If you were talking about like my seat isn't working or there's a problem with my seat, un siège, because you're talking about the actual thing. La ceinture. Ceinture. It's a word that you might have seen before in clothing vocabulary. The word for belt and seatbelt are the same en français. Might have seen it, might not. This is one of the tricky ones. La passerelle. Passerelle. Don't get to do much with that in there, so don't worry about it too much. La passerelle. Passerelle is the part where you pass from the aéroport down through the jetway to the avion, ici. So a passerelle is the passage or jetway. D'accord, très bien fait. Maintenant, on va passer à partie 2, à l'aéroport. Et premier, on va répéter avec les mots similaires en anglais et en français. So pause your video at this point, look for cognates, and jot down what you think those words might mean based on how they look and their similarity to anglais. D'accord, on y va. Nous avons les bagages. Watch out for spelling. Only one G there and un ici. Bagage. Luggage. Un agent de sécurité. Agent de sécurité. Agent de sécurité. A security agent. Probably have this one right away. Un passeport. Passeport. Don't get to do much with that E. Un sac. Might have known that from backpack, un sac à dos. So, un sac is just a bag. Woohoo! Mon favori. Une carte d'identité. Carte d'identité. Carte d'identité. An ID card, and you might have gotten that from identity. La zone de retrait des bagages. Zone de retrait des bagages. Retrieval of bags. A zone where you can pick up your stuff. Baggage claim. La zone d'embarquement. La salle d'attente. Zone d'embarquement. Salle d'attente. Both incorporate a waiting area. Zone d'embarquement is boarding area. Salle d'attente, waiting area. They're used interchangeably. La douane. Douane. La douane is customs. It's a security measure when you exit the plane and you're entering another country. We'll talk more about it en classe together. Le comptoir. Comptoir. Don't do much with that P in the middle. Comptoir is ici the airline counter, a ticketing place or a place where you would go to connect with an airline person, somebody who works for the airline to ask questions about tickets or arrival or other services. Un panneau. Panneau. Un panneau is like a big panel. It's usually a télévision in modern airports. But it's a departure or arrival board. Gives you a list of places that are being traveled to, what time, what the status of the flight is, which gate, what the flight number is. Un vol. Vol. Vol is taken from the verb voler, which means to fly, and un vol is right here. It's a flight, the number of a flight. Ah, j'aime bien ça. Une carte d'embarquement. Carte d'embarquement. All the syllables get used. A carte d'embarquement is a card that you need to embark or get on the plane, also known as a boarding pass. Une carte de débarquement. Carte de débarquement. Carte de débarquement is a little bit spécial. It's a card that France requires you to have when you get off an airplane and you arrive at a destination in France from a different country. The carte de débarquement allows them to understand who's coming into the country and have a record of it. Une porte. Une porte is literally a door, but they also use it to mean gate in an airplane sense. Et finalement, une valise. Valise. Clearly, une valise is a suitcase. Bravo, c'est bien fait. On va pratiquer ensemble maintenant. Merci.